Hi, I'm Ross from Smith 150 Group Property Accountants, and we're just going to go through a few little tricks, a few little case studies on what is taxable. I think I've got three little examples to go through today, and just get you thinking a little bit about some different situations of, whether a property sale is taxable or not. And obviously, a little bit of twist, a little bit of different answers to probably what you're expecting. So off we'll go. So obviously, this is general information. It's not specific advice for you, but it does identify a few of the problems. So our first house here, it's your personal house. You managed to buy, Barbie's house. It's your personal house. You purchased the empty section back in October 2019. You moved in February 2021 and you sold it now, and we're in February 2022. Is it a taxable sale? So the obvious one that we're looking at for this is just the Brightline rules. So October 2019 is the 5-year rule. So the first part with Brightline is, have we sold it within the 5 years? Obviously we have. February 2022 is within 5 years from October 2019. The second part we're looking at, can you get the personal home exemption? And obviously most people are thinking from this, hey, it's a personal home, we've lived there, it's tax-free. Well, that's not what the rules actually are. So we need to be more careful of that. We need to look, is it predominantly your personal house? So you've lived in this property for about 12 months. The property you've owned before that, October 2019 to February 2021, is obviously more than 12 months. So it's not predominantly your personal home. So if it's not predominantly your personal home, you don't get the Brightline exemption for this. So the sale of this property would be taxable. It's caught by the Brightline rules. You're not going to get a personal home exemption. The sale of this property is taxable. And just be careful of any taxable, tax in question. Brightline is just one way you can get taxed. There is others. So for this one, I'm just looking at the Brightline part. It's taxed under the 5-year Brightline rule because it's not predominantly your personal home. So be very, very careful of this. Any new builds, watch it. If it's empty and it's been built for longer than you've lived in it, you're not going to get that personal home exemption. So this example, it's been empty or getting built for about 16 months versus lived in it for 12 months. So not predominantly your personal home. If you sold it now, it'd be taxable. And obviously be very careful when you sell it. When you're selling, it's the shortest possible time. So sale and purchase agreement. So if you did sale and purchase agreement now, in February 2020 for it to settle in December 2022, it goes back to the sale and purchase agreement now, February 2022. So if I go back to that example, so if you did a sale and purchase agreement now in February 2022, settlement in December 22, still taxable because it goes off the sale and purchase agreement date. So be very, very careful, Brightline, that it's a sale and purchase agreement date for sale. And that's an easy way to get caught out. So be very careful with builds. Be very careful if you've rented your personal home. Again, if you'd rented it out for 16 months and lived in it for 12, you're not going to be your personal home. It's not going to get that exemption. Same if it's empty for a long period. Same if there was 2 houses and you were renting the bigger 3-bedroom out and living in the smaller 2-bedroom. If you've got a whole lot of flatmates or boarders, it might not be your predominant personal home. So be very careful on that, especially the new builds. There seems to be a lot of people getting caught on that. So that was the 5-year rule. How about we twist it into the current rules? So you buy your personal home, you purchased the empty section in April 2021. So just after the new rules came in, you did a sale and purchase agreement, went unconditional, settled it all in April 21 to make it easy. You moved in May 22. So just over 12 months, 13 months, it was empty and got built, and then you sold it in March 2025. So before we were looking at the 5-year rule and we were looking at predominant. And in this case, it would be predominantly your personal home, but this is under the 10-year rule. And even though it's a new build, it still fits under those rules. So what we're looking at in that case is if there's a period of 12 months or more, which there is, where the property has been empty or not lived in or getting built, then you have to pay capital gains tax on this period. So in this case, yeah, from April 21 to May 22, you would have to pay capital gains on that property because you've sold it within the new build 5 years, and more than 12 months was empty or getting built. So again, be very careful with personal homes. Don't just presume they're tax-free. Yeah, it's a personal home. It's a 5 years, it's new build. It is predominantly your personal home, but they're not the rules for this. Yeah, for the new rules. So because it's purchased 27th of March 21 or after, and it's got 12 months or more where it's not your personal home, that period's gains would be taxable. Really nasty. It's going to confuse a whole lot of people. So be very careful. Selling your personal home, if there's some sort of something a little bit different, worth double checking it. My third example, built house. Purchased a section 2016. It was empty, it's a section. Intention was that you were going to build a rental property and rent it out long term. Times change, and in 2021 you went, nah, we're not going to do this. We're just going to build a house now and we're going to sell it for a profit. And then you sell it on completion. So what are you thinking? Is this taxable? Is this not taxable? So it's outside of Brightline, so we don't have a Brightline issue. The problem is we've built and sold. So you're looking at different sections of the Income Tax Act and you're actually caught by a different section. So the fact that you built it and sold it straight away, it hasn't been rented, is you're going to get caught by this other section. So yeah, be very careful, and you would need to consider, yeah, tax and GST on this. Yeah, GST, it depends on the circumstances in your circumstance. So it's important to go through that carefully. Is it a continuous taxable activity? And yeah, GST for this, you're going to be caught by a different section of the Income Tax Act because you've built and sold. So be very careful that sometimes you can get past the Brightline, but that's only one of many taxing provisions. There's lots of others. So yeah, there is overriding ones that catch when you build and sell, and it might not necessarily catch all the profit, but it'll catch the profit on the build. So just be very careful around that. Get some expert advice. It's worth checking it, because otherwise, yeah, if your property's jumped up a whole lot in value, you don't return it for tax, ID come along, they check the LINS information and go, oh, here's a property, it's been bought and sold quickly, let's check it. They check all the dates, check all the information exactly, and you end up getting caught out. Then they've got interest and then they've got penalties. So yeah, just be very, very careful. Don't presume your personal house is not taxable. Don't presume there's just the Brightline tax. There's lots of other things to think about, and be very careful with it. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. If you've just seen my recent post on Facebook, we've got a whole lot of free information that we can give out to clients. So we've got links to webinars, interest deductibility, property trading, rental basics that anyone can actually access. We've got a whole lot of spreadsheets and information on tainting, partition agreements, trading properties, spreadsheet on rental, yeah, cash flow over the next 10 years, all available for our clients. So you make sure you check out that post, or it will be coming out the next couple of days in our newsletter blog as well. So hopefully you've checked that information. Enjoy it. Thanks a lot. Bye.